Hey everyone.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? How are you doing this cold evening? If you're somewhere in the northwest or northeast, rather,
Northeast. Yeah,
northeast. Well, you could be cold in the northwest as well. You could be there. You can be cold there too.
this is true.
My name is Stephen
Depending on
G.
how north you are.
Forwood. My name is Stephen G. Forwood, and I'm here with my illustrious partner in crime, Miranda Mims. And welcome to Nap's Kickback. We are so excited to have you here. We're looking forward to chatting with you tonight about all things archive, and we're going to go a little personal with some of the things that we're working on right now with our personal projects, but also some professional projects related to archives. Um, but if you're here, put a little chat in and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Hey Tanya, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. And so we are very excited about really the end of this year has really been something else. It has been we are coming up on the holiday season, and so during the
Yeah.
holiday season, we're visiting relatives. Right, Miranda, you're visiting relatives. I'm
Hmm.
connecting with folks, making sure I check in with people, and so for me, holidays over the years haven't really meant that much to me, except for when I was with family, personally with family, raising my child or being
Oh.
with my best friend and so forth, or traveling. But I didn't really travel a lot. But this year, I can feel it. I can somehow I'm starting to feel, I'm feeling like some home, some want to be at home kind of vibes. What about you? You are at home,
Mm.
yeah.
I am, but what is home to you then? Because you're in like,
Mhm.
I don't know, your second, third. What home is this in terms of like the places you've called home in life?
Yeah, yeah. So Toledo, Ohio, of course, and Atlanta, Georgia, Washington, D.C. for a hot second, and then New York City for the last since 2007. So I'm coming up on my 30th year in two
Yes.
years.
Okay.
And I think so. Family for me is both
No,
chosen
not since
and
2007, since 1997.
1997. I always do that. I always do that for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I just want to chop off that decade. I don't know why. It was a great decade, by the way. So I get home for me, yes, definitely being with people that I care about.
Okay.
That's what it is, no matter where I'm
Okay.
at in the world.
So it doesn't matter if it's New York City or somewhere else, as long as
None,
it's okay.
as long as I'm hugging on someone and we're eating some food and laughing at something. So yeah.
Yeah, eating food. Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of our holidays.
Right,
Because
right.
most holidays, that's what it comes down to, and obviously being with family. So yeah,
Yeah.
so like I am home. I'm in the place of my birth,
Yes.
um, currently, and it's where I'm currently at, and where most of my family, some of my family, my immediate family is.
Hmm.
So it is nice, especially around this time of the year. To know that they're so close by and to
Oh
know that I'll
yeah.
be, yeah, getting some good food out. Just jumping.
Comes back to food for
Because I
you.
don't, well, I don't cook. I don't cook. So that's
Oh, but you do
also,
cook. You don't cook
no,
during
I don't cook.
holidays, but you do cook though.
Nope, don't cook. Mm-mm. No.
I've eaten some of your meals before. You cook well.
Well, thank you, my friend. so, so, but yes, I mean, holidays, this time of the year, regardless of holidays or not, depending on if you celebrate, if you don't celebrate,
Right, right, right.
it does bring up like this feeling of kind of closure, or the
Hmm.
ending of something, the beginning of something new. And I know for me at least, it has been bringing those feelings up, and especially in my archives, and organizing things. And so there are many things on my to-do list
Hmm.
always when it comes to my
What are
personal and
some of
family
those things
archives.
relate? What are
And
some
they
of
all
those things?
come knocking. It's like this time of the year, they're like,
Ah,
it's time to get them done. It's time to get them done. And then, I'm always harried to do it. But yeah, so one of the things I've talked about on this channel is getting my family website together and my family archives together. And I have been
mhm.
doing a lot of work with that lately. And so I'm super excited that it's moving forward. I feel like there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and
Oh,
maybe
good.
by the end of this year, that will be done. So I'm very excited about that. And then, the other things I've been thinking about is just the amount of stuff I am hanging on to and why. And so one of the
Okay,
things I've been trying to do is just reflect on, why am I holding on to this stuff? I
okay.
kept it for a reason.
Mhm.
I have space, but I don't know if space is a reason to just hang on to things, because
I
you're
certainly don't feel
responsible
that.
for, no, because no
Yeah.
matter what, you're responsible for it. You have to take care of it. It begs you to take care of it in some way, shape, or form, even if you kind of
Mhm.
neglect it, it's there. So, yeah, just trying to think about in just being more intentional about the things that I'm holding on to. And so I've also gone
Mhm.
through a lot of my personal archives recently to kind
Okay.
of just see, do I really still need this stuff or not?
Mhm.
So those
We
are the
talked a little
things
bit
that I've
about
been working
nostalgia.
on.
So we talked a little bit about nostalgia when it comes to what you have and things you might want to reflect on later and having
Yeah,
that either physical or digital representation of that moment. So
right.
how are you thinking about that right now?
I mean, I think nostalgia is a big piece to it. I have a terrible memory. And
Mhm.
so when I look at something, when I go back to an object, like I have some of the things that I used to keep a calendar book, and it's sort of like a
Okay.
diary, and I would just stuff tons of things in it, right? I was just
Oh,
constant.
yeah.
And so it's for that year. So it really does represent
Mhm.
that year, right? Um, and so for me, I probably, my memory is so terrible that if I don't go back and look at this and hold it and
Right.
visit like the programs that I saved in the pages
Mhm.
and photographs and people I visited with, I don't think I would remember it or it would
Okay.
be hard to remember. Like I need somebody to kind of tease it out of me, but I don't know if I could
Okay.
just sit on my couch and reflect on everything I did on what year is this? 1999. This is from 1999. Like I don't
Wow.
know if I'd be able to call up those memories.
So I can see the physical representation. And even the digital one. I can see the physical though. So are you thinking of so what's your status with something like that? You want to keep that, right? You want to hold on to these yearly calendars that have so many things in them. Or are you on the fence about whether you should get rid of them or not?
Yeah. So that has been actually what I've been more than, because I've organized a lot of this stuff in the past. I have taken like all of my calendar books.
Mhm.
So this is for anybody out there if you're thinking about like where to start with your archives. I've taken all of the books that I've used over the years and I've put those in bins by year. And
Mhm.
and so, those are organized. All my photographs that are personal photographs and I wouldn't call family photographs.
Mhm.
So like friends or travel, I have those in a bin. All
Cool.
of my like I have all these audio visual materials I brought out. Like I used to do a lot of
Okay.
recordings. I used to think that I was a
Okay.
filmmaker, so I have all these films, and I have them on
Yes,
like
I can
9 inch
relate.
film
Yeah.
and videotape, obviously, and tons
Mhm.
of videotapes. um so I have all those separated. I have all my floppy disks separated.
Mhm. Mhm.
And, just other things, files. I have tons and tons of files from, I
Mm.
started writing poetry at a very young age. And so I have tons and tons of poetry books. And then after that, I just
Wow.
have all the Word documents. And then other poets that I loved. I would
Mhm.
always, like now, we have quotations from people and poems that I would insert into my own books that I would
Mhm.
create. And so I have all of that saved. And so, yeah, so when I went, so now it was more of not going back and reorganizing anything, but going back and seeing, is this still meaningful to me? Do I still need it?
Mhm.
Do I need it in physical form or do I need it in digital form?
Right. So
And if I do
those
want to
are two
keep it.
questions. Those are two questions now. So one is, do I still keep it? Does it still have the same meaning for me? These are two different questions. So I think,
Mhm.
have you thought about what future Miranda might want? Like 10 years, 20 years from now, what you might want then as a way to kind of do the pruning or do the selective process that you're thinking about?
Yes, because I now know that I like looking at things to spark my memory
Okay.
and to be able to reminisce. And so I do, I now know that I can do some pruning though, because I have a lot
Okay.
of photographs. I was talking about this the other day. I have tons of photographs
Mhm.
that, especially, because it's their film, and half of
Yeah.
a roll might be overexposed, or there's thumbs in the
Oh, I
way,
see.
and I can barely see the photo or the
Oh,
people
wow.
in it or the image, but I've kept it because you just keep
Okay.
at some point. And so I could do some of that pruning
Okay.
to kind of weed out some of those things that I just don't
Right.
need to have. Um, and then what was your second part of your question?
So it's the future. So there were two
Future me,
concerns.
right.
Future you. Yeah.
Okay. So I told you my memory. So yes, and so I thought, yes, like future me does not
Hmm.
want to see these floppy disks again. Okay. Future me wants to get rid of these floppy disks, but I do want to see what's on them. So I have
Right.
decided to get a floppy disk reader and
Converter. Yeah. Uh-huh.
yes, and convert it. And so same with these tapes that I have because I can't play
Okay.
them otherwise. Right now, they're just objects in my house. So future
Right.
me wants to see it and then make those
Hmm.
decisions
That's actually
whether I
yeah.
need. I mean, because this one is called random fiction. So I don't even know if I need this
Do
floppy
you remember
disk.
what it was?
I have no
Was
idea.
it
It's
just
random fiction.
random fiction? It sounds like a great title, though. I like that
Stephen,
title.
I think we've comment about your volume. I think you might need to turn your volume up a little.
Okay, let's see. Un, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. How's it going? How does it going? How does it sound to you, Miranda?
That sounds good to me. But
Okay.
yeah. So that's
Hey,
yeah. So that these are the things that I've been working through. And
hey, Tanya.
yeah, Tanya says, I would love to see my old floppy disk too. Yeah.
I understand. I completely understand. And I converted mine. I think I had a converter in the mid 2000s and had quite a
Oh,
few drafts of articles and other things on them. And I converted all them to email, not to emails, to Word docs. And so, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it
Okay,
was it
good. So
was
you
it was a
thought about
workout.
it during that time period when we were kind of switching
Ye-
from floppies,
Yeah, because some of them, yeah, because we were now, I think at that time we were moving the flash,
flash drives.
external hard
Yeah.
drives into flash drives, and I was like, I didn't want to lose all that stuff, and so I was very grateful to do that.
Well, that's actually kind of one of my thoughts too, is that I have already transferred this stuff, or some of it at least.
Oh,
And
okay,
so if I can get a reader, then I can look at it and see whether or not I actually have it already and I can get rid of it. Because I'm also
that's a very
trying to
good
clean
idea.
up my digital life, which is a whole other thing
Ooh,
that I've been working on.
that's
But
a whole nother thing. Oh my goodness.
yeah, the
Yes.
digital life doesn't stop. And one of the things I will say to people, in case you're like thinking about your own digital
Hmm.
world, in terms of like documents on your computer or in the cloud, um, is your download folder. Your download folder has so many items in it that you probably have not like moved to another folder that you might need at
Right.
some point. And so um, that's kind of like the first place I actually go when I start organizing things is my download folder to
Oh,
see,
that's smart.
to
Yeah.
start putting it, into whatever folder it actually needs to go into.
Hmm.
Because it's kind of like in a, limbo in there. And there's so many
Yeah.
amazing things that, yeah, we forget about that's in our download folder. But yeah,
That's a
so
very good. That's some great advice. Yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah, so
Don't
that's what's been up with me. What
don't you
about
have
you?
some
What's
pictures to show me before we
some
move to
pictures?
me? You have some
Oh
pictures. You wanted
yeah.
to show us some
So
pictures. Yeah.
yeah, so another thing on my to-do list, which I talked about before, is the family website. And
Hmm.
so what I've been doing, I've been scanning my own photographs that I have and relatives' photographs, and then putting it up into our family website. And
Nice.
so, but it's a longer process because I do a few different things in terms of
Okay.
having like an archival copy, like a TIFF,
Right.
and also I'll scan it at a TIFF. I'll scan it at a JPEG because the JPEG is what I need to put into the actual the website. I don't
Okay.
upload the TIFF, so I want to make sure the JPEG So I have two. And then if I have a photograph, something like this, and I won't even show you
Mm-hmm.
any better than this because it's a washed out, yellowed
Mm-hmm.
image,
Mm-hmm.
I will correct it, yeah, when I'm scanning it. And so then it comes out and it's clear, like as if it was, just originally taken. And so then I'll have
Mm-hmm.
three copies. So I'll have the
Right.
original, the raw file, I'll have the JPEG, the access copy, and then I'll have the
Mm-hmm.
corrected copy. And
Okay.
I think, like this is a lot. I could imagine people out there being like, why do all that? And
Yes.
it's kind of a lot. It's a lot. And I only do it with the ones that I really want the image for. I don't do it
Okay.
with every one. And the reason why is because if I don't know what, like you said, 10 years from now, I don't know what 10 years from now Miranda's going to want to do with these photographs. But if I only have a JPEG, I cannot do the full range of things that I would like to
Right.
do. You just
Right.
don't have as much information as you would with a TIFF.
Mm-hmm.
You have so much more information. You can blow it
Mm-hmm.
up. I could have a huge poster, right?
Right.
We
Mm-hmm.
could be having a family reunion and I have things printed and I want the best quality. And so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the TIFF would be the best, and then I can make whatever kind of image from that. Um, and then the JPEG, as I already said, to share on the website. And the corrected one too looks better. It looks clearer. You can actually see who's in this photograph. But it's still not the best quality
Right.
once you blow it up
Right.
on screen. In a small
Mm-hmm.
little,
Mm-hmm.
thumbnail or whatever, it looks fine. But once you blow it up, you can see everything pixelated. You can see that it's been
Yeah.
messed with. So that's the reason why I do it. But it is very labor intense. And so I
Of
pick and
course.
choose when I do that.
No, you have to be selective about it so that you still have time to go to sleep
Yeah.
and eat and all that, because that's a lot of work.
And
That's a lot of
knit.
work.
And knit, since
And
that's my
knit. Forgot
go-to.
forgot about knitting. Not to mention
Yeah.
all the archival stuff you do. So outside of
Yes.
the family stuff and your personal stuff. So Miranda. So the things I was thinking about are like you and like a lot of archivists who are both professional but also sometimes as well as independent archivists, we're always working on various collections professionally. But like you, I'm working on my family's archive, which is the Fullwood Houston family records. Sometimes I call it archive,
Yeah.
sometimes I call it records, which
Okay.
really which is really
What's the difference for
germane to
you?
what I'm talking about it. Well, for me, I like my family thinking of it as an archive. Records
Hmm.
sound a little off-putting, but they are records. They are records. And so what I love about about building this particular archive is that it helps me understand family history better, helps me understand history and culture and geology and genealogy and geography and all these wonderful things, because there is there's something about learning history without your family in it, but when your family's in it, it becomes that much more richer, much more thought engaging,
Right.
from homesteading to migrations to different, just all these different things that we've been taught in school or not taught in school. Learning about those things through your family members is to me is the best thing ever.
Right.
And so, with my family archive, some of the things that it includes genealogical information, as I mentioned. And those could be photographs, documents, obituaries, oral histories, and other things. In addition to that archive, that's the main archive, and then there are components of it. So I have a smaller part, which are my personal and professional papers, which includes biographical information for me, but also for projects like Vintage Entity Press, which was my publishing company, the second iteration of it from 2004 to 2015, as well as um, drafts, published writings, unpublished writings, lots of correspondence. I don't know why
Mm.
I thought I would need all this correspondence, but I'm an analog boy in the digital world, and just the analog boy took care of his correspondence. I used to write letters. Sometimes I would keep copies of them, and now I have this range of correspondence back like in the early '80s, which is really
What about
something.
cards? Do you keep cards too, that or postcards that people
I keep
send to you?
I keep cards from family members and close friends, because it means something to me. But I don't keep every
Okay.
single card. Yeah, and because I get
Okay.
so few cards and letters today, I do keep those.
Okay.
until you get those. So the main issues I'm having that I would love some advice on, and it's similar to some of the things that you talked about earlier, is organization. I have issues with organization. I've also have issues with duplicates. And so you can see how our
Oh
two,
my gosh. Yes.
yes, yes. So with organization, my challenge is that what I do is here's the anecdote, and then I can build from there. So
Okay.
when I was at graduate school at Clark Atlanta University, I worked as a student worker in the archives and special collections at Robert Woodruff Library. And I was really happy. It was my first sort of introduction to archives. And I was part of a three-team, um, three-team, was it three-team? Three-member team to process the College Language Association papers. And the College Language Association papers is like the Modern Language Association, but for Black people because they couldn't join the MLA. So I remember
Mm.
that they were having their 30th or 40th anniversary. I believe it was the 40th, possibly 50th. And so it was my first time processing a collection with someone. And I remember years
Processing
later
meaning like organizing a collection.
organizing the collection. Thank you for our folks who are listening. So organizing that collection with two other people. And it was so new to me. Like when I looked at the finding aid 3 or 4 years later, I'm at the Schomburg, I was like, I wish I could go back and reprocess that collection because now I have some skill sets, I have some vision, and it would be a lot more accessible. And
Right.
at that time, my curator, Donald Chateauneuf, said everybody who processed a collection wants to go back and process their earlier collections because now they have more
Yes.
information. So
Right.
that's the thing that's sort of dogging me right now in my personal life. It's that I will most of my analog materials are are pretty well organized. So I have really don't have a problem with that. It's the digital archive. It's naming
Okay.
a file based on my naming conventions, but then I go back and go, you know what, I can do that better. Meaning, I'll
Hmm.
give you an example. So I'll name a file and then I'll use a title. So the title will be something like Fullwood, um, Funny 2004, essays, draft, or whatever.
Funny
Then
is
I'll
a
go,
book
you
that
know,
Stephen published.
years ago, years ago. Don't look it up.
Don't look it up.
Don't look it up.
Okay.
Never read anything I've ever written. So now I'm going back through my files and I go, you know, the better way to do this would be to Fullwood underscore funny underscore draft underscore 2004. So you've got who did it, the title, the date, and what if it was a draft, right? And so I had various drafts of the manuscript of that time. And so doing that has made me a lot crazier than I already am
Hmm.
because I'm not consistent.
Right.
Sometimes I'll spell out the date versus my favorite way of writing the date is like December 9th, 2025 would be 12/09/2025 all together. That's my favorite way of doing it. And so again, I'm not always one person. I'm several thousand people in any given moment. And as I'm, you mentioned earlier about downloading, I'll download something and just put it on and work on it and then put it in a folder and forget about it. So my thing is consistency. It's consistency in staying with a particular naming convention that I created. No one put this on me. I'm doing it myself.
Right.
Now, and
So you're
so
making
today,
yourself crazy.
make myself crazier. And so I want to share a screen really quickly
I
with
just want to say, Stephen, I think you missed it, but in the chat, people are looking up funny. So I think that ship is out the bag.
yeah, do yourself a favor. Don't go
It's
buying it
not
because
so
right
funny.
now it's terrible. No, it's a funny book. It's just that now that eBay is selling it for like $1,000 or something. It's really funny how people will find something and think of it as rare because it's out of print, which means it can be rare, depending on who you're talking about. But you could just call me up and I'll send you the manuscript. So please.
Yeah.
So I want to share some images of what I'm wrestling with right now. For example, so this is an
Yes.
example of what I was saying a moment ago, that some things are named Nap Kickback, some are Exercise Journal, some of them are Fullwood Receipts underscore 20 November 2025. it's just a variety of way of naming things, and it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. I
Right.
prefer not to do that. I prefer to, to keep things consistent. So I'm working on that. That's my one of my words for 2006 is consistency. So this is one of three shelving units I have in my house that contain the physical stuff. So what you'll see on the top, there are biographical information, family archives, correspondence. Um, you'll find writings for manuscripts that I probably will never produce books for. There's some photographs. There are quite a few things there. And there's also a picture of me right there that someone took of me, which was awesome, and painted it. And so for me, going through this, so everything is on everything that you see. The flash drives are
These
all backed up
drives.
on the Google
Okay.
Drive.
Okay.
Everything, including the WD Elements hard drive, the black one. Everything is on the G.
Okay.
I'm about to buy another G because I have more things to add to that. But going
Hmm.
through it, I have to find an app or some sort of program where I can delete all of these extraneous duplicates. The duplicates
Yes.
sometimes
Right.
that I produced, sometimes I'm not sure how these things become duplicates. I'll find like 10 copies of something. I'm like, I know I didn't do that. So that just feels weird to me. Um, but that's something that I'm working on
How
this
often do
year.
you back up things?
I back up things fairly consistently, like every month or 2 months, because I need to move things off of my desktop and I'm done with
Yeah.
certain projects. And right.
Right.
So I want to just get them out. So that's items such as, reports, projects, photographs that I've used for some things. I just want them out. And
Okay.
so, but again, it's really this year I just want to be much more consistent about my naming conventions and really get rid of those duplicates because they're taking up space, one,
Right.
and I don't need them for anything. So those are the things that I'm wrestling with and have been wrestling with for most of my life. How about that?
So, so in terms of duplicates, is it because when you're searching for things you can't find it, or is it just because you know that they're there and you want a cleaner environment?
I can find things fairly
Okay.
easy. So that's not the problem. The problem is that I have an external hard drive that I plugged in earlier today to look for some images for a project I'm working on and
Hmm.
saw that there were several copies, like maybe 12 copies. It made no sense of one photograph. I did not produce that. I'm not sure if I've trained my computer to do this, if it's the hard drive itself. It makes no sense to me. So
Mm,
yeah, it's really
okay.
about cleaning it up and just
Okay.
having, a backup copy and a copy that I use, a TIFF or some other archival quality copy that I can share with family members, chosen and biological, or use it in a project. So when I'm producing something.
And what would you say the majority, like, what is going to happen with your archives? What is your intentionality for keeping your records and for keeping them in a way that's, findable,
Hmm.
like you were talking about naming conventions that are
Hmm.
understandable.
What's great is so I don't wrestle with things that so some of the things that you're wrestling with, will I want to see this later? I know that I want to see it later.
Oh,
I
okay.
just want one or two of them. And
Okay.
so I've put it in my will that I would love for my stuff to go to the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture or some other institution like that. Um, I keep um, I keep things because I know that I'm writing about them or I'm creating photo books or some kind of creative endeavor. I want to use these materials in workshops around archives and genealogy. So I'm always looking for I know that building my archive is really like I'm the first user and I appreciate that. Like I really would like,
Hmm. Okay.
so when people send me photographs of family members, digitize them, send them out to other people, I'm interested. I'm interested in my life in that way. So I don't
Hmm.
keep a
Okay.
lot of nostalgia stuff. And what I mean by nostalgia would be some extraneous cards. Like I keep cards that have a lot of text in them, but not cards are just like, sorry for your loss kind of thing. I'm like, that's beautiful and lovely, but it's also, space is a premium in New York. You got to take
Yes.
care, So what you said earlier around, should I keep this? It's taking up space. You may not
Right.
want it.
It's interesting because you and I, we're often very different in terms of like
Hmm.
how we think about our own personal archives. So for me, especially my personal, not family, um,
Hmm.
those archives, they are just like you said, you're the primary user. Like to me, I'm the only user. They're just for me. And so,
Yeah.
after I'm gone, I'd like them to be gone. I would like them
I
destroyed, like
I
this
know
is
several people
just
like you. Yes.
right.
And you have to, I try, and I've said that before that I would, if I were your executor, I'd make sure they were destroyed because
Yeah.
that's your business. And I think that when we talk about rights in this country, we should have the right to do what we want with our archive. And
Right.
I've argued with people before about it who are like, well, what about history and what about culture? And it's like archives can't save everything anyway. That's the first thing. But we start to treat people like humans. Let's start there with the human who has the right that he, she, or
Right.
they want to do with their stuff. That's where I land on that. So
Right. Right.
yeah.
Same.
So I
Yep.
got you.
But
Hmm.
my family ones, I'm doing the most of my archival work for my family stuff is for my family. And so that
Hmm.
is stuff that I am actively, that's why I'm always trying to get it out there. And then
Hmm.
hopefully physically, another thing that I've been thinking about is I'm digitizing family photographs, but I don't want the actual physical photographs, but I think that other people in my family might. So I have
Right.
all these different piles that I'm going to send to them, and I'll send them the digital because
Okay.
my dad was like, who wants a physical photograph? So
Your dad
I
said this?
don't, yes,
Wow.
my dad, it's crazy. But, he's very different. He doesn't want anything. But he's not about nostalgia. But I
Uh-huh.
think other people would be, especially younger
Yeah.
people in my family. And so
Hmm.
who probably have never seen some of these photographs because that's how I feel. Some of these photographs that I'm digitizing, I've never seen them before I was born. And so that's
Right.
what's super
Right.
interesting about them. And so I think other people. So my family stuff, definitely interested in passing it on. And then what happens to it, it happens to it.
Hmm.
But um and so that, this is a totally different endeavor. But yeah, my
Hmm.
personal stuff, I want it gone. It's just for me. I'm the one and only user. And
One and
maybe
only
at times I
user.
share it with other people. But
Hmm. Well, you have a lot
plus I
less
don't think
ego than
anybody
I
could
do.
read my chicken scratch anyway.
No, no, no.
So
You have a lot less ego than I do. Like I am very interested in my own life.
you're
I
like
am. I'm like, whoa,
you're like
what
everybody's
happened?
gonna want to see this.
That part, not really, but some people maybe. But it's really about me. It's like tracking yourself. Like I think of writers like Joyce Carol Oates, who not only publishes 1,000 books a year, she also journals. I love
Yeah,
journaling. And I'm like,
right,
so some of that's got some of that public that some of those books or essays or what have you must come from her journal, must be inspired by, or at the very least has shaped the way that she understands the world and kind of thinks about
right.
stuff. So that's exciting to me.
Yeah,
And from an early age, I've always wanted to know what I thought about something, which is why
yeah.
I think I'm so opinionated. It's like I know about this. I probably don't, but this is how I feel about it. So
Right. And if you want to
yeah.
know more
So
about Stephen and his journaling, we have another video that we produced
that's
in
right.
the kickback. Yeah, and that
Hmm.
kickback was with Stephen, Lee, and Tanya. Um, I can't remember the name of it.
Stephen, Sean, and Tanya. We talked about journaling.
Stephen Sean. That's right. Yes, Sean
Yes.
Ping Pong. Yep. Okay, so
Hmm.
um, maybe Tanya might put that in the chat, the title of that one, so people can find it. But it's on our channel and it's interesting. It's really, really interesting conversation about journaling. I don't typically journal, so I
Hmm.
found it fascinating to listen to. And I'm jealous of people who journal. I think it's amazing.
Hmm.
I don't have
There was
the
something that we
talent.
mentioned recently when our in-person meeting very recently, where people feel. I got the sense that people felt like if you don't fill up a whole book of writing, then somehow it's incomplete. or dare say that you're a failure at journaling. And I feel exactly the opposite. Working with
Mm,
a lot of collections at the Schomburg, sometimes the thing that they did write down was the most important. Well, not the most important thing, but it gave us clues to something that we were trying to work out. So I feel like if you start journaling, don't worry about how often you do it. Just do it when you feel like it. Enjoy the process. It's
right.
do it. Oh, so the nap
Behind
kickback
the
behind
journal.
the journal. Behind the journal.
Yes. Yes. um, yes. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I have done it. I've always, it's actually around this time of the year, or it's always a New Year's resolution that I'm like, I'm going to start journaling. I'm a,
Yes.
and,
I
and
could see
that
that.
I think, yeah, yeah. And so I'll
More
do like
reflective
what you
time.
said. I'll do 3 or 4 entries, and then maybe in March I'll remember, oh wait, I'm supposed to be journaling every day, and I'll do another one, and then it's gone.
Uh-huh. And then pretty soon you're
But
all these pretty journals with like 2 or 3 pages, but that's okay. That's okay. That's
I
just
don't know.
how you're in the world at this point. Um,
No.
and I struggle to journal every day. I struggle to get, and I keep an electronic journal because sometimes I put photographs and things in there to illustrate it, but it's work. It's work. I journal about the day. What's the temperature like? Did I exercise? Did I walk? Okay. Sometimes what did I eat? What was I wearing? What were the list of things I wanted to do? So sometimes it feels very in this weird liminal space between the personal and the professional. Meeting with Miranda at 9, 10 o'clock, another meeting with Miranda, 12 o'clock, yet another meeting with Miranda for a different reason. So it helps me set my intention for the day.
Right.
That's what journaling does for me. And then I like going
Yeah.
back and looking at it and going, oh yeah, I did do that already. How did I forget that? And so,
Well,
but
I guess my planners, my daily planner that I write in,
yeah,
that's helpful
yeah,
because it is, yeah. And so I think um, that keeps it keeps some record of it. And Tanya
hmm
says sometimes journaling gives me anxiety. Oh, I can see that.
yeah,
I mean, it
yeah.
gives me anxiety to think that anybody other than me is going to read it. So I don't know if that's what you mean, but
Wow, we are really different people. 'Cause I wasn't thinking that at all. I was thinking, yeah, because sometimes how honest am I going to be with myself? About something.
Okay.
That's what would gives me anxiety. So, Tanya, you said it's not an always easy thing to do.
Right.
Completely, I completely get
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
It seems like you guys
it's.
are on the same page when it comes to
I think so. I think
journaling,
so.
which
And
is probably why
I
you both do it.
it's the way I process. So in journaling or essays or a poem or something, it's the way I process thought. I know people, you're kind of like this, Miranda, and some other folks that I know. You guys know what you think almost automatically. I might know what I think, but then I have to process the feeling of why I felt or why I said what I said or thought
Yeah.
what I thought. So
Right.
that's what journaling has done for me and continues to do for me. So,
So Stephen, so we've Tanya says likewise. So, we've got things on our to-do list right now or on our desks. We're in process.
hmm
That's fine. I think
hmm
any momentum is great.
yes,
Even if it's stalled momentum, because it means that you at least care and you're thinking about it and it's there and it's something that you at
right.
some point want to get
Something of
to.
value.
And
Yep.
right,
hmm
yes, because for me, a lot of the things that I have, has been in my desk for a moment and doesn't mean I don't care or love it. I just,
right.
life, right? So what's one thing though that you would like to take forward with you into 2026 when it comes to archiving your personal stuff?
Hmm.
Or one intention you might have for 2026?
Be consistent with my naming conventions. I think that would clear up that it would open up a whole new vista. It'd be like, oh, it would just be great. So
Yeah.
consistency. Yep.
Okay.
That's
All
one thing.
right.
What about you?
I think I want to start by, putting something like an intentional time period once a week where I'm just
Okay.
working on archival things. And it could just be an hour. And I feel like just like that low key, no
hmm
pressure, just doing that 1 hour a week, whether it's scanning photographs or going through my digital archives or my emails,
Mhm.
because I like to download a lot of email strands and
Yeah.
conversations and archive those. And so, or my text messages, same thing. But, it all takes a moment. And so I think just not
Mhm.
having like a huge, look, I got to get all this done by a certain date,
Right.
but just an hour a day and whatever it is that I want to work on, I work on. Or not an hour a day, an hour a week.
An hour a week. Mhm.
And I think that consistency, like you, in a consistency in a very different way, will be
Mhm.
really, really helpful in terms of just moving forward with things in a very low pressure environment when
I
it
agree
comes
with that.
to
Yeah.
archiving. Yeah, so that's 2026. But
All right,
the
2026.
pressure's still on 2025, but I've got some things I want to finish by then.
Thank God. It's been a wonderful year, but wow, so much stuff.
It
So
has
much stuff.
been it's been a lot. It's been a lot.
I've never
Um,
bored. Never.
no, but so this is
Mm-mm.
also Stephen and I have been doing the kickback, and we hope if you weren't able to join us in real time that you'll watch the replay. And if you have any questions or comments or thoughts, that you'll definitely put
Yeah.
it into the comment section.
Mhm.
We'd love to hear from you and interact. We started the kickback almost a year ago, and we did it very spotty in the beginning as we were
Mhm.
just getting started. So it's only been the last couple of months that we've really been showing up here every other
Right.
Tuesday. But this really is a place that we want to, hold space to talk about anything at all when it comes to, you
Mhm.
know, thinking about the stuff that we keep that we love.
Mhm.
And so we hope that you'll come and you'll join us, one Tuesday or watch the replays. We would love that. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely like it. If you want to hear more from us or see what we're up to, subscribe. We also have a podcast called In the Telling, where we
Mhm.
interview people from across the global Black world on their family stories. And those come out about once a
Mhm.
month. And I sometimes republish old In the Tellings that at first it was just a podcast, all audio. So I've been republishing that on YouTube just for people who are not who are not on any of the podcast streams, or just to kind
Mhm.
of put it out there in case you missed it. So you can look for those. Those drop once in a while. And but otherwise, we'll be here at the NAP Kickback. We have one more this year, right, Stephen?
Just one more. We're all going to the NAP team is going to come together, and we're all going to chat with you
Yeah,
about some of the things that just the
we're gonna
kickback.
talk. Yeah, we're just gonna kick back, and that is actually next Tuesday because of the
Yes.
holidays. So we're gonna do back to back. So it's not gonna be every other. It's not gonna be the next
Mhm.
Tuesday. After that, it's gonna be next Tuesday,
December
which
16th. Mhm.
the 16th. Okay, yeah. So definitely come chill with us, hang out, get whatever beverage you're into, and kick back with us.
Kickback. Bring
We
your
love,
questions,
yeah.
bring your ideas about archives. We would love to converse with you.
Yes. But until then, enjoy the rest of your week or your day or your morning, wherever you are at in the world, in the future. Just enjoy.
Mhm.
Take care.
Be well. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Bye.